Hello, welcome to the Unseen World channel. If you are enjoying the content, please don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to stay updated on all my latest videos. Thank you for watching. In this video, we are going to know about the dark history of Afghanistan. Afghanistan, which gained its independence from Britain in 1919 by Amanullah Khan, was on the way to become a modern country, especially during the decades of 1960s and 1970s, with a political stability, moderate religion, and women's rights. But these golden years were about to end. The wars began with the Soviet invasion in 1978. The resistance, led by leaders of the different tribes who formed the population of Afghanistan, was heavily supported by the CIA. This support of the USA led to the establishment of Islamic organization, one of them with young and fundamentalist men who called themselves Taliban. The Taliban originated in the madrasas along Afghanistan-Pakistan border during the Soviet occupation. These religious schools indoctrinated students into a strict interpretation of Sunni Islam, that many of them later became core members of the Taliban. Under the leadership of Mullah Muhammad Omar, the Taliban rapidly gained control of Afghanistan, capturing Kabul in 1996. Once in power, the Taliban imposed a harsh regime based on their strict interpretation of Islamic law, or Sharia. Afghan citizens, especially women, faced severe restrictions on their rights and freedoms. Women were banned from attending schools or working outside the home, and the burqa became mandatory attire. One of the Taliban early leaders, known as the Black Prince, used to throw acid in the women's faces if they were caught walking showing their faces. The Taliban also targeted ethnic and religious minorities, adding to social tensions with Afghanistan. The Taliban also provided a safe haven for terrorist groups, most notably Al-Qaeda, which carried out the 11th of September attacks on the United States in 2001. The US government demanded the Taliban hand over Al-Qaeda leader Osama bin Laden, but the group refused. In response, the US launched a military invasion of Afghanistan, which quickly toppled the Taliban regime. After the US-led invasion of Afghanistan in 2001, the Taliban was initially removed from power. However, achieving lasting peace was challenging. The following years saw a prolonged insurgency as the Taliban regrouped and launched a relentless campaign against Afghan and international forces. Despite facing initial setbacks, the Taliban gradually regained control over significant parts of Afghanistan. Their insurgency proved resilient, exploiting grievances and taking advantage of the government's inability to provide security and essential services to the population. The Taliban's resurgence was fueled by corruption within the Afghanistan government, which determined public trust and support for the state. The withdrawal of international forces further empowered the Taliban. As the US and its allies reduced their military presence, the Taliban seized the opportunity to expand their territorial control. By 2021, they had gained significant influence over various regions, raising concerns about the future stability of Afghanistan. The current leader of the Taliban is Hibatullah Akhundzadeh. It is thought to have more than 200,000 men. Finally, in August 2021, the capital of the country was occupied and its dominance was restored. That's why thousands of Afghans began to immigrate from the country. The bans imposed by the Taliban are the reason for their immigration. They reject concepts such as democracy and human rights because they refuse to appreciate, respect, or learn from other people's historical and cultural achievement. Women were forbidden to work, to take girls to school, and to receive education. It was made compulsory for women to wear headscarves and men to wear caps and beards. Those who cut their beards were sentenced to imprisonment, starting from 6 months. The women whose faces were seen were flogged. Afghanistan television broadcasts were stopped. All kinds of visual broadcasts and music, including photography, were banned. Men had to pray 5 times a day in the mosque closest to their homes. Those who didn't know the prayer time were flogged. All schools were converted into madrasas. Pictures in textbooks were destroyed. Starting from the 3rd grade, all students in madrasas were required to wear a turban of at least 3 meters. All seized computers were considered TVs and were broken. The ones that opposed the Islamic State were declared traitor and were directly executed. Many people's hands were amputated for various reasons. Many of the executions and beheadings were carried out after Friday prayers and were shown to the public. Mirrors in public transport vehicles were removed on the grounds that women could be looked at. They don't provide philosophical, moral, or civilizational advancement for today's world, except violence, hatred, and creating more borders among humanity. Radical Islamist groups like the Taliban have a distinct and unique narrative of history, dividing the world into good and evil. The evil include non-Islamic countries, human rights, values, and achievements. In the eyes of the Islamist hardliners, pro-Islamic monuments are unwanted and should be destroyed. They believe that the world can be divided into Islam and non-Islam, and reconciliation between the two is impossible. From their perspective, politics, culture, economy, freedom, rights, and other issues should be defined by religion and its interpretation. In conclusion, the history of the Taliban is a complex and often violent one, from their origins as a faction in the Afghan civil war to their brutal rule of Afghanistan in the 1990s. The Taliban has been a disruptive force in the region. The situation in Afghanistan remains uncertain, with many fearing what is going to happen with the return of the dark days of Taliban rules. Thank you for watching.